All right, greetings. Today I want to speak about, what do narcissists do when they start to lose their power, especially over you? What does that look like, and what happens, right? Narcissists, when they sense that their influence is starting to slip, the first thing that you are going to be aware of is the uptake in manipulation. They often intensify their manipulative tactics. At first they may, have relied on their charm, their flattery, or gaslighting you to keep you underneath their thumb, right? However, as their power starts to wane and it starts to go away, they resort to more desperate methods. These things can include guilt tripping, playing the victim, threatening emotional consequences, threatening to hurt themselves or threatening to go and cheat or something. It gets blatant after a certain point. They'll work hard to get you to back into the situation that they want you to be in, right? Where you feel obligated to serve their needs or to save them, right? Most of it is trying to gauge and read you from a perspective of saying, okay, if my grip is slipping, let me turn up a couple of things. Let me start some commotion to see how much it's slipping, how much control, how much power do I still have. The next thing is they'll begin to criticize you more. When you start seeing more criticism from them, when their power over you diminishes, narcissists often turn to criticism, right? If you start to assert your boundaries or you become less available, then they lash out with negative remarks. They'll start belittling you. They'll start belittling your actions or attacking your character is another one that they come up with. A lot of this criticism serves two purposes, though. One is to make you feel inferior and to trigger your self-doubt, to make you question whether or not you should be going ahead with pulling back from them, right? And that's so that you can realign yourself underneath their control when the doubt kicks in. They want to destabilize your confidence and keep you questioning your decisions. That criticism can be subtle. It can be an underhanded comment. Like, I know you don't know what they'll say something like, I don't know why you're acting like this. You're usually much better than this. Something like that. That's to get you to think there's something wrong with the way you're acting, with the way that you are. Right? So that you begin to look into yourself, right? And then it'll sometimes be followed with more direct insults. And the goal is to make you feel insecure and dependent on them for the validation. Because when you are dependent on someone for validation, you're in a very weak position where you can be exploited easily. They use fear tactics, or they'll use threats is another one when you know that they're starting to lose their grip. Narcissists thrive on creating a sense of fear and instability. When they feel their control slipping, they might resort to more intense threats. These threats can involve something as extreme as threatening to expose information or spreading rumors. They might also threaten to withdraw affection or support or attention, which in their minds is the main tool of control. point blank. And at this point, the narcissist may even threaten to harm themselves again, like I said, or others, right? Others that you may care for, or to emotionally manipulate you into staying under their influence. However it may play out, they'll do that. And while this may seem irrational or exaggerated, it's a common strategy, really. Narcissists use this all the time to maintain their dominance. Another big one is you'll notice the silent treatment more as a sign of them losing control. When you see them using the silent treatment, it's like a way to get you to conform, because they're not going to tell you what the problem is, but yet they start acting different. They'll withdraw emotionally and refuse to acknowledge you, expecting you to feel unsettled or desperate for their attention, desperate for them to start acting the way that they've acted before, that's engaging and so forth. And that idea really is to make you feel ignored, so that you'll seek to please them again, hoping that them being silent will end your resistance to their control. And silent treatment is really a form of passive aggressive punishment. That's all it is. And, the narcissist expects you to beg for their validation. And when you do, they will take advantage of that moment to regain that control again. They'll hoover you. We know about that. When that control is lost, they'll attempt to hoover you again, reach out, random texts, I thought I was thinking of you, or, I passed by somewhere and it made me think about you, so I decided to just check on you. They'll do like a welfare check hoover is what I call it. They want to do a welfare check on you. But it's really just to see, how you are, or if you're still caught up on them and they leave you. That welfare check hoover is designed to give you a false hope to pull you back into the cycle of dependence. Because when they do this welfare check hoover and you're all open to them as nothing fell off, they know and can gauge your tolerance, that, wow, I can actually do what I do, fall back, and this person is still readily available for me. That tells a narcissist a lot about you. All right. I won't get into all the specifics in this particular message here. But it tells a lot about you. There's things that narcissists do that a lot of you are unaware, that's ingrained in your behavior subconsciously that you're doing, that you're not even aware of, that the narcissist can see when you react or act them out. You may not think anything about it, but it tells narcissists a whole lot about you and how you are and what your tolerance level is, to better see how to manipulate you effectively. All right. They may also start instilling doubt in your mind about people you trust, which is another one. They want to make you feel as though they're the only one who truly understands you. And at its core, the narcissist wants to make you feel that their opinions and attention are the only ones that matter, which they want to leave you isolated and susceptible to their control. Right? Another big one, they amplify their victimization. Narcissists often see themselves as the victim, especially when they're losing a grip on someone. They may start to present themselves as the martyr or the one who's been wronged, and they'll go to your family and friends and, try to say how much you've done them bad. And, by betraying themselves as the victim, they can manipulate your empathy and turn the tables, making you feel guilty and putting pressure on those around you to come and ask what's going on and what's happening, to make you feel like maybe it's you that's the problem. All right? Sympathy, when used by narcissists, is designed to garner control. Flat out. All right? The other one you guys will notice is them becoming overtly just flat out controlling. Just trying to dominate you, trying to impose their will over you. Fear tactics, threatening you, harassing you, showing up at your job, sending you random gifts, sending you flowers to your job, doing these type of things. You'll start seeing that it's like I'm going to impose myself on you. I'm going to encroach in any way that I feel. And this is just what I'm going to do until you say, okay, I give in. Yeah, the narcissist has many different levels of what they do when they're losing that power. Right? They'll begin to push that boundary aggressively. You'll see them becoming more aggressive, more desperate, popping up to your house unannounced, leaving notes on the car, leaving notes on your door, something to show that, hey, I was actually here. I didn't just text you. I left a note here. I was actually here. So I'm still around. They want to play into the minds of what's of you, right? These are signs of them losing control. And when all this doesn't work, that narcissistic rage happens. And this is where one or two things they can some go overboard. I'm starting to believe that now a lot of these crimes against intimate partners that happen are they're things that involve these type of dynamics with narcissists, where they get to a point where the injury, the narcissistic injury to them can be so severe, depending on what type of situation you had, that they go to extremes of actually harming you, and God forbid for some, actually, paying the ultimate price from the narcissist, jeopardizing someone's life. These are unstable individuals that, depending on where their mindset is and what they're going through, can really put you in harm's way. So it's important to know these signs and know how to deal with them and how to react properly to them, right? The key to resisting these tactics is to stay firm, trust your instincts and recognize these behaviors for what they are. They're attempts to manipulate and regain dominance. All right. That's all for this message. If you got anything out of it, consider to like and subscribe. If you want a one-on-one consultation, my email is in the description. Shoot me a quick, brief email, and I'll get you everything you need on how to go about booking your appointment and discussing your issue. Till next time, have a good one.